What is this? Yes, it is a Thursday best ball breakfast. We never see that, but when you have to cram in all of your drafts to get to 150 by the end of the week, you spin up a Thursday best ball breakfast. And we got a special guest returning. You guys remember Easy from, I believe it was my 75th draft. We brought him on and he had built this awesome correlation spreadsheet that updates in real time and helps us quantify the boost that comes from correlating our teams. And so I'm excited to have Easy on to be my co-pilot for drafts 141 and 142 here. It's the final stretch, guys. 2 more days, and then we'll be done with Hot Best Ball Summer. My slow draft rooms are so much different than my streamed drafts.
Does no one realize Underdog's half-point PPR? Idiots!
Damn, bro. You know ball. Hope you guys packed your bags. I packed my bags. No, I mean, I literally packed my bags.
Dude, Star Method's legit. Only way to max out every contest in a plus EV way.
Week 17, you still gotta get there, bro.
We have a finite sample. We only have so much samples. Is it negative EV to stream all your drafts? We just don't know. All right, it's Easy from the Deposit Kingdom, the true king in the Deposit Kingdom. It's been a while since we've touched base. I think it was around the 4th of July we did that show. How was the rest of your summer, Ben?
It might have been the 4th of July. Yeah, I'm down to my last 5 BBMs.
Nice.
So trying to make sure I get it in under the wire, but also like maximize the EV. I don't want to. I mean, you're always doing the picks, the drafts with everyone. It's my last 5. It's so precious, and I want to not be drafting with all the sweaty bros. I'm trying to do them later in the day and things like that. Only so many bullets left to fire.
That was like I was talking to Sean yesterday, and he was saying his late night draft rooms have been pretty juicy. So I am jealous of you, you guys that are able to do that. Although Easy, we get to 1-3 here. We are off to the races here. Going to get these drafts rolling. What have you been doing at 3? Assuming you get the Jefferson Chase. What's the play here?
Not CMC, because I built like my first CMC teams the other day, and it's just horrible. Tyreek goes. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right.
That makes people some time.
Sorry, what were you saying about not doing CMC?
I tried to build a CMC team because like all of my teams end up looking the same. It's like, oh, let me see. Can you carve a CMC team that looks good?
Yeah.
I can't. Maybe you can.
Yeah.
So it's definitely Tyreek versus Cup. I started the year big on Tyreek. I like Cup because I like the Giants pieces on the bring back. I also like the Dolphins and Ravens. That's like a true coin toss for me. Probably lean Reek on half PPR.
So we do have the spreadsheet going here. I have this in the comments, or sorry, in the show description. I'll also post it here in the chat for people. It's an awesome tool that allows you to input your picks in real time. And then Easy, you are obviously going to be better at explaining this than me. So why don't you explain to people how they can use this for their final drafts here?
Yeah. So basically if you trust that I didn't mess things up too bad, all you really have to do is type in what pick number you are. It'll auto populate. So I did, for this draft, pick 3, and everything's a drop down. So like, I don't know if it'll show you like as I type in, like I'm starting to type, and if I you can add names pretty easily. So like you just type in TE, like T Higgins will show up. So you can fill in your drafts here. You can actually go back and, boards that you've actually completed and see how they grade out. But on the right is like my recommendations based on, I've done rankings based on, some projections and, a couple of different things to get the points per game. These are, I will say it's like mostly bullish because you want to be drafting as if you're right. So it's saying if everything works out for your players, here's how the board shakes out. So right now with just one pick in, the top of the board doesn't change a whole lot, but yeah, like obviously Burrow gets kicked up a whole bunch. T Higgins goes down a bit, unless you add Burrow, and then T Higgins goes back up. So
yeah, that's fun. Since we last talked, have there been, and just so people know, like one of the things, and over the years on Lulz, we've talked about it a lot of like correlation is a boost, ownership is a penalty, and like that, but it's always been really hard to quantify it. And so the fact that Easy here has been able to actually put some numbers to what that boost can do based on kind of historical correlations and stuff is very cool. Have you had any other like epiphany moments from now that you've done so many drafts with this sheet of like, holy cow, I never would have thought that this would have looked so well in this light or whatever?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I like to stack what's illuminating for me is like tight ends. Like I try very hard to avoid naked tight ends. Is the biggest aha that I've had. And I'm actually very open to 3 quarterback. Giving yourself, especially with a 1 out of 16 advance, twice, it's going to be very hard, I think, to advance. And I think it's like the super elite quarterbacks are getting 25 plus points per game. Let's say like those top 3 quarterbacks, and you can expand that to, Fields and Lamar, but it's going to be really hard to advance this year. And that's going to be painful, I think, come, mid-December for all of us. So if I'm not going elite quarterback, I found like to keep up, you kind of have to correlate and boost up 3. If you don't get one of those top 5 or 6 is the thing that I've found. I may end up being wrong, but it's just the flag that I'm planting.
Well, and it makes so much sense too. It makes me wish, like, I've done lots of late, quarterback builds, but if you do 3 late quarterback builds where you get all 3 of them stacked up with the tight end, and obviously there's varying prices there for how you do it, but I do completely agree with you. I think the field is maybe underweighting how hard 1 of 16, 1 of 16 is going to be in back-to-back weeks, and those actually so helpful. I mean, if Easy's here, are we playing? We're playing the hit here with Derrick Henry.
I think you have to. Yeah.
What's your exposure to Derrick Henry at now?
It's come down. His price has gone up, and I don't know. I keep getting like pick 10 and stuff, even though I'm fine taking Henry there. My Henry exposure is at 44%.
Wow. Now that's it. Do you handcuck him ever with Tajay Spears?
No. There was a point in the year very early where I was like, if I don't take Henry, I have to take Spears, because I just, there would be nothing worse than being right about the matchup and then Henry misses.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't done that.
Well, that's like the classic DFS thing, right? Where we have like a smash play, it'll be Henry or whatever, and then it's like, AJ Brown has 3 touchdowns, and it's like we were right that the Titans offense was going to roll, but we just picked the wrong guy. So yeah, have you been doing other like Titans builds? Like, are you in on Burks and Chig and
I'm back in on Burks now that he's back in at practice. I think ADP over adjusted there, and I think Chig, if he's healthy, has a path too. So like I don't have like a min 1 Titans rule, but when I don't have Henry, I do try and go out of my way to boost up, Burks and Chig. And I think Hopkins is attractive at the 4-5 turn as well.
So let's see how we play this, and then we can check in on the sheet and see who starts to stand out. I mean, have you been doing the double with? I feel like didn't we do that last time too?
Yeah, we did. And I think we got Chase Brown, so that team is I think this is T. Higgins all day, especially in this room, and you hope that people respect that.
Yeah, I think the only other guy I would even consider there is I've been trying to get a little bit more Mark Andrews here down the home stretch, but setting up the double, and I think I was saying it on one of my streams where it almost feels like when you see. There is a little bit more risk now because I've seen like Joe Burrow doing funky stuff, either sliding or people taking him as a one-off. But I do feel like there's just a collective boredom with like the premium Bengals double. I just don't see people doing it as much, at least in my drafts anymore, where it was like we were all doing that early and now no one wants to build teams with that anymore or something. Yeah,
I mean, it's surprising, like even in my random rooms, T. Higgins at 27 feels like a smash. So in a wide receiver premium, which this doesn't seem crazy. I mean, Josh Jacobs went off early. I'm all about it. And my philosophy is, I think you try and if you go into each draft and try and save each draft, and like you have to swing for the fences. If we get cocked on Burrow, we get cocked on Burrow, and you have 149 other bullets.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, it's just like it's not the end of the world. And in a way too, like if you think about it as, all right, we get the Bengals stack without Burrow. Yes. Do we see this boost here with Burrow is absolutely massive with these guys? Yes. But what we're gonna do if we get cucked is we're probably looking at a 3 late QB build, most likely, or 3 quarterbacks total. And what that's gonna allow us to do is then have 4 different stacks, 3 main ones with the quarterback and then 1 without it. And then we're just asking, can 3 of our quarterbacks match Burrow or give us near Burrow production and then giving us extra outs through that gauntlet. So I'm at peace with it too. I think people tilt the QB snipes a little too much considering it definitely makes it less sexy on paper, but I think you can still make it work.
We have to avoid this wild card who's on the clock now to not take Burrow as his QB2.
Oh my God.
Okay. See, he went purple too. That was that was almost a disaster. It turned into kind of running pure when the guy goes 2 quarterbacks and it's
easy for the audio listeners referencing here. The team from the 11 hole goes Adams Amon-Ra, perfectly cromulent start there, but then goes unstacked Trevor Lawrence at 35 and Fields at 38. And we also see the 12. We're in a loose room, easy. We get TJ Hawkinson and Waller at the 3-4 turn. I mean, what is going on here? There he goes. Okay. Jesus. This is loose.
Is dead. Yeah, the dream is dead.
So let's check in on the sheet now that we lose Burrow here. How much are you, because one of the things I've said a lot this year is I start to think about correlation progressively more each subsequent round. Are you like in the 4-5 turn here once Burrow's off the board? Are there any correlations that you're really thinking about?
Yes, I think about it more as we go on. The only thing specific to the 4-5 turn is like the Cincinnati and Minnesota. So Cincinnati plays Minnesota in week 15. And there's like some micro stuff there where like, Justin Jefferson pairs well with T. Higgins because it's like leveraging your Jefferson is better than Chase bet, things like that. But we can talk
what do you like here?
I like Christian Watson a lot. As a player, and I'm fine with Brees too. But I think Christian Watson here.
Let's grab Watson. See if this feels like a room that might be discussed with Brees and give us to him at 5-3 here.
Yeah, Hawkinson was part of that 3-4 turn. Yeah. The other thing I would say is like the ADPs line up really nice. That there's a Viking usually at each turn. Like obviously Chase at 1. Not 2-3, but then 4-5, you get Hawkinson, 6-7, you get Addison. So you can, a lot of times I'll play it that way. If I get sniped on Burrow and try and go like Addison, Kirk. Yeah. It's not ideal. But now we have Watson. So that sets us up, because they play the Vikings in week 17. So if we build Vikings, we get a little week 15, week 17 type thing. So I do start to think about that stuff.
And for the sheet, that people know, this is obviously not tapping into your draft. Easy is using just a range that should be available there.
Yeah, it looks at like similar ADPs, but if you get sniped, you get sniped.
Yes. Let's see what Subi Jose does here. After we took Watson, Hopkins, London, Ayuk. So nice read by Easy there to grab the wide receiver. I'll be pretty stoked on fifth round Brees, which we do get. Are you down for that?
Yeah, my only consideration is if we wanted to go Aaron Jones and Giga the Packers, but I like the Brees bet, especially as an RB2 here.
I know. I wish Brees Hall was just off the board so we could do the more like correlating thing, but it's just like Brees at 5-3. What are we doing, guys?
Yeah.
All the Brees stuff too. I mean, like he's been back at practice for 2 weeks. Dalvin Cook just returned to practice on Tuesday. It seems like Dalvin Cook is legitimately still needing to kind of work back into game shape. I just don't think it's necessarily like that existing narrative that like Dalvin Cook was going to be the lead guy until Brees was ready, which I like completely bought. It made sense. Why else do you bring him in? But now when you actually look at the practice reports and their health, I'm just not even sure that's completely true.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like we're staring at a split early year, and I'm more open to Dalvin than I think a lot of the cabal is. I think just because like even if Dalvin is bad, he is going to play. They paid him. Aaron Rodgers wants him there. Unless Dalvin royally messes up early in the season, I think he's going to have some role. But I think that the opportunity cost, especially this year at a 4-5 turn, to swing for the fences on a guy like Breece Hall, your opportunity cost is pretty low. Like I'm not super worried that Alexander Mattison is going to have like a blowout season.
Right.
So I start spike week hunting basically like mid round 3. I think you can basically spike week hunt the whole rest of your team because I think there's not a whole lot of certainty. Just also the way that NFL offenses are these days too is a lot more split backfields. I'm fine swinging for the fences on Breece.
Easy. I did just take a look at the chat. Do you want to address bye week bro nation? Because they are losing their minds right now. We have 4 week 7 buys and then Christian Watson in week 6.
We'll sim it out. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm not overly concerned. Yeah. I'm curious if this came up in the data bowl, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but like if anyone in the chat knows, something came up earlier in Discord is like, do we know the average winning margin for like the first and second place versus third place? Because like, how much do I really care? Like, we're like, oh, you need to cover your buy and get 14 points from Ryan Tannehill.
Right.
Like, how often does that matter? I don't know.
Right. Well, and it's also like
I want to build a good team.
Right. And believe it or not, Easy and I are going to draft 13 more players. That is kind of the thing. So that is a way that we could do this here. We're about to pick at 6'10", our team so far: Derrick Henry, Breece Hall, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Christian Watson. No quarterbacks in sight. Dotson goes. That snipe hurts here. What do you like on the board? Is it the Addison play?
I like Addison or Evans. Evans is one of my highest exposures too, and I think that's another fence swing, but Addison does help us cover a lot of correlation.
Who do you think is more likely to come back? Because I'm fine to just play the ADP game.
I would go Evans.
Okay, let's do Evans. They also play Green
Addison
Bay week.
They do.
Yeah, week 15. So that is a little bonus there as well. Addison, like you said, plays Cincy week 15 and then KC 17. So we'll see if we can build in some playoff stacks here. I assume you would have been Dotson there at 70.
Yeah. That's just me. Like at this point, I'm clicking the names that I like. John Dotson, Penn Slinger. Those are really good. These are all really good values. Like, I think at this stage in the draft, Evans, Dotson. I'm even fine with Jason back in practice. These guys are all probably a half round too late, I think.
Well, yeah, and it's weird too that like I thought Dotson was just going to be locked and loaded in the 5th round after the McLaurin thing, and just what a great camp and preseason he's had. But for whatever reason, there's in these like really loose rooms, there are still God damn it. All right, what do you think? Addison goes.
We could do Miles Sanders to get another week 7 bye. That's a joke. Not tight end. Can we see running back?
Yeah. We got Sanders, Akers, Connor, White, Swift.
Nothing interesting there. I'll just go receiver of choice. Let's go Hollywood.
Okay. Hollywood, Brown, come on down. Yeah, there were really basically no correlation considerations there, right?
No, not really. Yeah. So that's like the pro and con. When you have Chase and Higgins, your correlation pool becomes more concentrated, which is fine.
Right.
We will have to add stuff to that. And there's plenty of Chiefs to add. As you see, like the Chiefs are starting to bubble up to the top here.
Yeah. And that is I assume you're probably what we're always weighing, right? Because you're looking at your sheet, you're like, Chiefs are bubbling up. Is this too early for Pacheco? Like, does the boost that, that's where I think it probably gets into that gray area.
Yeah. Like this would say like Pacheco, like this is fine for Pacheco. If you're right about Chase and Higgins contributing to your lineup in week 17, the likelihood that Pacheco pays it off is good as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not reaching for that archetype.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to think about ADP. And if Pacheco falls, great. Also, there's like McKinnon and even CEH later. So that's why like maybe next year if I have time and I learn how to code or I hire someone, like we can figure out how to build in like contingency stuff, or not contingency, but like what will happen later in the draft. This only looks at like what's happened so far and what's up next. What it doesn't know is like, oh, I can pass on Pacheco because McKinnon is there. So that's why like we haven't replaced.
A cool thing would be like if you could click a player and then based on your draft slot, it's based on like the ADP data, it gave you the percentage chance that that player was going to be available at all of your future picks.
Yeah, that seems relatively stealable because like who has that? Is that
RotoViz has one of those for their command center. I haven't seen it for Underdog, but that would be sweet.
Yeah, that should be relatively stealable. At this point, I'm just kind of maintaining. I think I did my last or so update just based on cuts and things, and we'll see if any other injuries come through. But yeah, hopefully keep this running.
Yep. All right, here's our team through 7 rounds. We got 2 running backs, Derrick Henry and Breece Hall. We got 5 wide receivers, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Christian Watson, Mike Evans, Marquise Brown. I know you've been heavy on the Bucs wide receivers. Have you started to take any Baker Mayfield now that he was announced the starter?
Oh, Baker Mayfield is one of my highest QBs.
Really? Okay.
Only 12%. But I've been drafting Baker the whole time. At his cost, especially because I do a lot of 3 QB stuff.
Do you toss Otton on with those?
What's that?
Do you toss Otton on with those?
Yeah. I'm big on Otton. I just think Tampa is probably going to lose 100, maybe even more pass attempts, but I think that offense is still going to be super concentrated.
Yeah.
Top 2 receivers. I think Kate Otton is going to be good, and Rachaad White, and then is Trey Palmer going to be 4th in line or 5th in line for targets, whatever? I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see if Goddard just keeps sliding in all these drafts. I don't know. Did I miss a news thing on him? If this tiny person passes, then these 2 teams have tight end. We might be looking at Goddard at pick 94.
Yeah. In theory, he correlates with Hollywood Brown, but as the chat has been kind of talking about, apparently Mike Evans and Marquise Brown are both going to get traded to the Chiefs. For
Is there anything else you would do here other than this Goddard value?
Is there anyone at running back that I would love either of the Washington or AJ Dillon? So I feel good that we'll get someone we want there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with Goddard here at 94.
Yeah. I just, what was I at exposure wise on Goddard? 7.3%. And I definitely want to keep clicking him here in the 90s. That just seems like such a nice price for Goddard. You mentioned, we're probably now looking at running back. I'm with you here. Herbert and Brian Robinson are who stand out to me. Dillon kind of gives us that Packers bet too, if we're trying to set up a Jordan Love thing later. But I'm open to any of these guys.
Yeah, I'd probably go. Yeah, it's a true toss up, which doesn't really help a whole lot. We'll see if any of this is where I'm almost hoping one comes off the board, because as smart as I pretend to be, I'm not smart enough to if there's these top 4 running backs, it's 25, 25, 25, 25 odds, which one of them is the best. Maybe it's 30, if you have a perfect crystal ball, but I don't know. Hopefully someone takes one. But otherwise,
you're explaining ranges of outcomes and probabilities. I normally the comment section do not understand those things easy. Herbert does go. I would say Brian Robinson is my favorite here, but if the correlation boost for Dillon is enough,
it is good. Yeah.
Let's say, so we got that 5.5 point versus Brian Robinson is more of a neutral pick. So let's do the correlation.
Yeah, let's go that one. Yeah, it opens up Jordan Love, and there's guys there's packed I don't want to telegraph the whole draft, but there's late packers that I like, so we can really enhance that bet. So now we're doing week 15. We can week 15, 16, 17 stack the Packers and
and the nice thing too, now you kind of got me wanting to do these all these late QB with tight end stuff, but it's you got Mayfield with Otton, you got Love with Musgrave. There is some kind of cheap little things we can do there. And also on the hawking our picks, I did, when I clicked in, I was the last one or second to last one. I tried to tip people off in the Discord, but that's my way of saying I don't think anyone here was bum hunting us in this draft. So we can speak relatively candidly.
Sweet.
Sorry, Chris, was told there would be no math. Yes, we did talk a little bit of math. Your dear friend and broadcasting partner is bummed that you're not plugging your guys' show. Let's get the plug in.
Yeah. Ori and I do, or we used to do, and we're planning to do a Sunday morning show that I think overlaps exactly at the time that you do. Time to be determined, but if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, whenever it is we decide to do a DFS show, you guys feel free to stop in. I make a bunch of spreadsheets. It'll be different, but it'll have a bunch of conditional formatting and look semi-pretty as well. So yeah, it's a good combination of spreadsheet and balls. Basically, that's what we're going for there.
There you go. Easy like Sunday morning. Okay. Yes, JGJ at the one hole. Yeah, I'm pretty sure JGFC is maxed here. So we are safe to get Deneric Prince if we want him. Thinking through other quarterback stuff here, feel like we have a lot of kind of flexibility, right? As far as options here, basically what outside of Goddard and our Bengals, like every other quarterback that we've made a bet on is still available.
Yep. I'm not like super in love with Kyler's like outlook based on, the Cardinals seem to be kind of telegraphing, some things there, but yeah, we have Love, we have Baker. We can even play like Aaron Rodgers cheaply with Brees if we really want to.
He just went. I was thinking that. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I thought Rodgers could make a little bit of sense. He does go. Definitely have some interesting options here, like Dobbs if we wanted to keep going with the Packers. Penny looked good on the sheet with Goddard. What do you think? Or I guess he's neutral here in the sheet.
It's about neutral. I'm not big on Dobbs, but maybe that's because I think Jaden Reed is actually gonna usurp him. So. And this is like the range where I skip receiver, and we're pretty good. So I would just click a running back, whether it's Penny or like Jalen Warren if he's there. Yeah,
Warren
like
went.
Yeah, Penny's good.
I think Penny with Goddard is a fine little touchdown hunting correlation there on the Eagles. Yeah. Probably negatively correlated in like single game scenarios, but over the season, probably a pretty nice pairing.
Yep.
So this is the team here through 10 rounds. No quarterbacks. We got 4 running backs: Derrick Henry, Breece Hall, AJ Dillon, and Rashad Penny. Our wide receivers: Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Christian Watson, Mike Evans, and Marquise Brown. Tight end Dallas Goedert. I believe Dobbs was already like doubtful for week 1. That's why he's sliding so much. I didn't even know that. Yeah, sure. LaFleur suggested, hoping to know. So yeah, that's causing his slide there.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So still like on the quarterback, I mean, none of these quarterbacks here really make sense for us.
Yeah, no,
tight
I agree.
ends don't seem to make a ton of sense. So we're still probably in running back, wide receiver here. What do you think?
Yeah. Receiver for me, it's Mims, but I want to leave the light on we're going to take a Chief, which would bring us to 6. And I like Jaden Reed, which would bring us to 7. So I think it's running back again. And I would go McKinnon.
Okay. All right. This is what was it on Monday? Or was it last week? I rallied against Jerick McKinnon, and now I've selected him twice on stream. So that's just what happens to you. You build cases so you can tear him down. Although when I got him the other day, it was at like 140. We take him here. Yes, are you still open to getting another Chiefs wide receiver?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. And Mitchell would have been another option, right? Wasn't he popping a little bit in the correlation?
It's just, I don't know if it was we've got some stuff there. Let me see if I bring Eli Mitchell in.
I think there's something with. Oh, it was Arizona in week 15.
Yeah, okay. so it's very minimal. I just do like Eli Mitchell. He's just a guy. I think like you might get, let's say in a 17-week season, if McCaffrey's healthy for all 17, which is not going to happen very, very often. But
yeah,
you'll probably get 2 good games out of like RB2 Eli. But then in the seasons where McCaffrey misses time, Eli Mitchell is probably a Madisonian type player, right?
yeah.
So base case, I think it's okay, and then super upside. So I do like Mitchell.
One thing I was just taking a peek at, if we're trying to like think through some like quarterback stuff. So Love's ADP is 149. Musgrave is 163. The pushing Musgrave to 166 could be a little dicey if we go that route. So it's just something to kind of think through at 142 and 147.
Yeah, because we have Goddard, I'm not that Goddard is elite. I don't need to reach for Musgrave.
Yeah.
Also because we can play the Kate Otten card later. Taysom Hill card is always open.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't reach for Musgrave, but if we don't get Jordan Love, we might as well just start the next draft, I think.
Yes. That is how I will feel. Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting here. Man, P. Ryan really falling. Which seems kind of crazy to me. But man, this room has been all over the place. I want to see what some of our crazies have done. There you go. Dalvin Cook at 59, Kamara at 62, Michael Thomas at 83, Jamal Williams at 86. Is this Silva's burner here? Love Monster. I mean, holy cow. This one is wild. Anytime you draft Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields, you do want to tack on an unstacked Derek Carr. Oh, no, sorry. With Michael Thomas. My bad. In Alvin Kamara. Yeah. So some wild drafts going on these days.
We might have to reach to get Taysom in that room.
What's your Taysom? Is Taysom your second highest guy after Big Dog?
Probably 35 on Taysom.
There you go.
35.
So what? Those are your just 2 highest, Henry and Taysom? Yeah.
Then I've got Mike Evans and Devontae are closing in at around 30.
Yeah.
Jordan Love goes, by the way. So yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
We're going to have to get creative here.
Maybe this person is just trolling us. Joe Burrow and Jordan Love. Is that an unstacked Jordan Love? I believe so. So. That's fun. Now I know, you know what? I haven't done a lot of drafting on DK, but it's nice to get to feel what that's like.
Can you click quarterback just so I'm aware of?
We're at like Pickett, Purdy, Howell territory here.
Yeah.
We should probably be prioritizing quarterbacks that have like a tight end or a wide receiver.
Yeah, there's no. The top 2 don't have any players available.
You want to go Higbee, Stafford, or is that
Higbee for Stafford? Yeah, Higbee, Stafford. Yeah. Yep.
There you go. Bye week, bros. 2 tight ends. But yeah, I mean, they make you scramble.
Oh
isn't this the whole push pull of like soft rooms? Everyone's like the value you get, but then it's like all your stacks get blown up.
Yeah, and I think that's fine. Like first place, is 20% of the pool. So I think you want to have the best chance at having those teams, and then just sacrifice. Sometimes it's just a cuck fest, and that's okay. Yeah. It's bankroll dependent, right?
Yeah.
Super frustrating with a single bullet. For sure.
For sure. Yeah. And it's just like, I mean, when we look through, like we talk about, how hard it's going to be to advance from certain rooms, like is this team's like $3 million expectation like plummeting by the round? Yes. But like this advance rate expectation is just like rocketing up to pretty high levels at a certain point.
Yep. No, I mean, I'm man enough to admit that this team isn't winning it, but we do our best to scrape what we can, I think.
So at this point, I mean, are we capitulating and taking Matthew Stafford at 147, or do we just do Higbee to give us that out to Stafford at 166?
Yeah, if they want to keep cucking us, like we'll just go to war with like Baker Mayfield and Trey Lance and like Aiden O'Connell or something. I'm not ready to fully capitulate here. I think we're good on receiver. I mean, A-Chain falls. We don't really need a running back either. So who is the quarterback? Maybe it is Stafford.
Do we just grab Stafford and not?
Or do you want to go naked Purdy for the
or we could do All right, let's do Stafford here. And just at this point, I would not put it past like Fox style here, whose entire mission in life is to snipe us with his unstacked quarterback selections. We just can't take anything for granted anymore.
It's great. And the guy 2 next to us also has 0 quarterbacks.
Oh, you're right. So, Proby here. Oh no, Allen.
Jeff Wilson IR. Is that new?
Wait. Is that serious? Is that real? Sometimes the chat has been, sometimes I can't trust these guys, Let me go look over here on my news tab and see if this is real. Yeah, Jeff Wilson to the IR. Wow. And we just where we needed that A-chain Mostert click there.
Okay. Oops.
God, that is crazy. I wonder how long. It would be really interesting to know the timeline of what this injury is and if they knew this pre the discussions with the Colts. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
because
that's
if
why
they knew this was coming and they still weren't doing it, that means Irsay was really off his rocker.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's like where there's smoke, there's fire. The Dolphins have been like their finger on the pulse of every running back negotiation, it feels like.
Yeah.
I entered the year with 20+% of like all of the running backs, or not all.
Yeah.
Mostly Wilson and Mostert cooled off, and I'm trying to get back on it. So.
Yeah. Well, and again, Underdog makes it nice for that because the stickiness of the ADP, whether it's because of auto drafters or people who don't know, I mean, it's Mostert's ADP will never get efficient before lock. It just, there's too little time and too many bad drafters and auto drafters for that to adjust the ADP. So you really can just hammer mispriced players until these contests lock.
Yeah, that's why I think that there's still like my theory with ADP is that the fallers don't fall nearly enough and the risers don't ever rise nearly enough.
Tyler says McDaniel, right. McDaniel said Wilson is going through some very painful midsection on the top of the finger injury that he was dealing with. Interesting. 4-week minimum there on that short-term IR. Whew, that's an interesting one. They have to be a candidate to bring in somebody.
Lenny. Shout out to my co-host, or he's been beating me. Lenny is gonna complete his journey in Southern Florida.
There you go. At this point, would not be surprised. All right, do we do Van and get this triple, or are you a 2-2 guy later?
I'm not like neither, but this is kind of gross. Geez, we might end up. All right. This is all right. Running back. Let's see.
Running back. Roshan looks nice.
Oh, yeah.
Arizona week 16. What do you think?
Receiver real quick. It might just be Van Jefferson, honestly. Yeah, let's go Van.
Want to do Van?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to do Van, it's probably on a team where we had to reach for Stafford and just complete this. I'm trying to think here. This is such a mind fuck because we're like fine at all positions and yet except quarterback, and yet like you basically just put, do you continue to reach for these quarterbacks? I mean, at this point, are we looking at like Kyler and Baker to round this out?
Yeah. And because to your point, like we are very solid at every position but quarterback. So even like we might have to just start ignoring the values because more or less our receiver room is fine. A running back room, we could add one more, and tight end, we can add a late one just to fill in that buy. So yeah, this is the time where you have to kind of read what the room is giving you and say like, I wish I had Jaden Reed, but it's a luxury we can't really afford, right? And this is just torturous, like staring at the top of this queue.
I'm just laughing because it's like, this is what happens when someone takes Jordan Love unstacked and the team actually tried to stack up. The Packers now no longer is interested in them because they can't get Jordan Love and Jade Reed and Luke Musgrave. I honestly think we probably just need to take Kyler here.
Yep. No, I agree. And Kyler opens us up to McBride, Michael Wilson, dude, even Keontae Ingram.
Yes.
If we end up wanting to go down that route. So it's not, I think we got boxed out, but The team could be good if Kyler comes back and Cooper Kupp gets like the parlay that this team needs to thread.
Yeah,
is thin, but it's hard to win $3 million. So
it is. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense with the 3 quarterback build here. And like you said, because we're so balanced, like I don't even think it would be that insane to go full Dan Zach here with Otton and McBride. Just based on what the other options might be.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's total luxury picks. We definitely, if we can stack up, Baker would do us wonders. Someone's going to take Baker, and then I don't know what to do. Like, I'm fine cutting this receiver room here. Again, like,
yeah,
I forget what the buys. Do we have 3 that are going to suit up in week 7? I don't know.
Right. Yeah, looking at our buys. We've covered.
Yeah, we can field a team.
We're going to add at least one tight end here. And of course, maybe Fox Style was the visionary all along, grabs Luke Musgrave there, takes Jordan Love, passes on Musgrave at 152, passes on Musgrave at 161, and then gets him at 176. That's how you run pure, baby.
Yeah, he carved it out. He called dibs on a falling Packer.
So Calvin Austin is now a 15th round pick. When did that happen?
Love stars. With all due respect, this team sucks. It does.
Yeah, you know, I used to always lament how tough my rooms are, but at least everyone stayed in their lane. Let's make sure we get a friends and family draft for our next one.
Yeah, let's shoot the alert out.
So I'll recap here for people as Easy and I mourn what was setting up to be a very fun team at the start. Through 15 rounds, we got Matthew Stafford and Kyler Murray at quarterback. Running backs, Derrick Henry, Breece Hall, A.J. Dillon, Rashad Penny, Jerick McKinnon. Wide receivers, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Christian Watson, Mike Evans, Marquise Brown, Van Jefferson, Dallas Goedert, Tyler Higbee. This is one of those funny teams where if you read off any position group in a vacuum, like segmented off, you'd be like, nice team, nice squad. Yeah. And then you see how it comes together in totality, and you're like, fuck, there's no narrative here.
Yeah. I have the masculine urge to just finish this draft with like 2 more quarterbacks and just go 4 QB.
I'm not opposed,
because like if our receiver room, I know I like to have 7 or 8, but what are we really adding at receiver? Like I'm fine with a Michael Wilson, but there's no,
Did we already lose Baker Mayfield? I mean, I think we have to take Tannehill with the big dog, right?
Tannehill with Henry is not great. I mean, a naked Stroud. What the fuck are we doing here? Oh, sorry. I don't know if I'm cursing.
You don't like Tanny with big dog? I don't mind it.
Jimmy gives us Mayer.
Oh, that's a good call.
Yeah.
Let's what did this person do? Oh man, look at this. We all found ourselves because of these wild cards.
The 2 of us are just in the dumpster.
Okay, hang on. Can we tilt, dude? This person took unstacked Baker Mayfield over stacking Tannehill with Burks.
We can tilt. We can also tilt that I said to take Jimmy to get Mayer. Mayer was the pick literally before.
I didn't even see that. We are floundering. My goodness.
Losing steam quickly. Is this an Austin Hooper team?
ML says, Pete, you got excited for Jimmy G. When Baker Mayfield is going unstacked, you get very excited for Jimmy G.
Jones for Henry.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Dude, this is 4 QBs. I don't even care. This is a 4 QB team.
I think we're just going to do Tannehill now. I mean, I don't even know what. I mean, at least we got our bet on the Titans.
Mac Jones does give us the Gesicki or Henry. I mean, Henry's not going to make it back. But
what if we take Henry and then just just dare these assholes to do more quarterbacks? I don't. What do you think? Or are you fine leaving Gesicki as the fail safe?
Yeah, I would go Or you want the Tannehill? Let's just go Tannehill. Who cares?
Let's just do Tannehill. All right. This is like one of the wildest.
Because I think this
no, you're not
because I want equity in this, but because I want to give you a partial refund here.
This is probably the most out of pocket room I've drafted in. And I guess you guys probably get these rooms all the time if you're drafting late at night on DraftKings or whatever. But this is very new to me because I never get this wild of snipes and shit. I think, Dan Zach popularized the 4 tight end build. Easy is forever going to be synonymous with the 4 QB builds that are very loosely stacked.
If we finish with a tight end, we're going to have a 3 through 6 straight on positions.
A 4, 5, 6, 3. Yeah, the wheel.
That's a 4, 5, 6, 3.
Oh my goodness. At this point, I mean, it's probably McBride, right? Zach Ertz isn't even going to be ready for week 1. Double stack Kyler.
Yep.
I don't even care about putting stuff in the queue at this point. I mean, it's just like go with God. Here. This is the thing though. We're gonna do redemption hour here right now. How about this? Normally I go and telegraph it here. I'm going to get in a draft. We were begging you to come draft with us. We're absolutely begging you to come draft with us here. Oh, one spot.
Oh no, get out. Oh.
Yes. Oh my goodness. No badges, no friends. The 1-8. Jesus.
Boy.
All right. This one is, man, I think easy. We need some resetting here. Let me update my banner. We're going to head over to 142. I don't even feel like recapping this team. I think we just completely move on, right? Easy.
Yeah. Can we just put some tight ends in the queue?
Yes.
Very quickly and go on auto, save, the people behind us like 25 seconds.
Yeah. This team is just absolutely
which is fantastic.
All right. What are the tight ends we're putting in the queue?
Henry, Hurts, Fant, Hayden Hurst. I don't know.
Okay, there it is. We're done with this draft. It is. This one will be.
Who's the Titans backup? Yeah. Oh yeah.
That draft is just.
Yeah.
Oh,
right, we're back.
Actually, that's a good call. Honestly, I thought I was done with it. Austin Hooper. This team demands Austin Hooper, I think.
What if?
Here, I'm just putting Hooper at the top.
Yeah,
there it is.
Fine.
As Hayden Hurst and Noah Fant come off the board, I feel like we're just being actively trolled at this point.
I'm gonna put in a calendar reminder to see how many points the Jimmy G Austin Hooper stack scores in week 10.
Please do. All right, we're gonna feed the ducks too. We need like a whole palate cleanser here. Do we have a fresh sheet going now? Easy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, beautiful.
I pressed delete so fast.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna pour some coffee. We're about to pick at 1-8 here. Draft number 143. We'll never speak of 142 ever again. Easy. What is the pick?
Just scroll down. For me, this is either Garrett Wilson or Devontae Adams.
Dude, if you do not have to, if you say Garrett Wilson in round 1 at 1-8, then I am fully signing up. Let's do it.
Yeah, I've been fully Hard Knocks filled.
I haven't been watching Hard Knocks. Tell me what's the good Garrett Wilson storylines on there.
So basically, Hard Knocks used to be awesome in that you would follow around all the like late round undrafted guys, and then they show them getting cut, and the Jets are like, no, we're not showing any of that. So it's just the Aaron Rodgers show with featuring Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner. And basically, I'm fully in on Garrett Wilson is just going to be the Devontae Adams of this offense.
Yep.
And especially like Corey Davis out, it just consolidates it a bit more. Like Randall Cobb is going to be on the field, like great, but Garrett Wilson is just going to be a smash.
Yeah. That all things point to that. I know it's fun to talk about like, oh, Rodgers has his guys and Lazard and Cobb, but like Garrett Wilson is a superstar. And if Aaron Rodgers wants to have a successful year this year, he's going to give Garrett Wilson as many targets as he can handle.
Yep.
All right, let's see here. Star Kindler says, I tried to get in, dudes. Here's a hug because that was traumatizing to watch. I feel like, too, the teams we drafted in July were really clean. We got that Burrow double stack. It was a super fun build. That was seriously like I've had a few drafts where I'm like, that didn't stick the landing or whatever. That was just like a stone cold disaster easy. I don't even know how that happened because you and I are very on top of things. I don't know if there was anything we could have done to salvage that.
No, I mean, if we want, like, this is a forward-looking show, but if you want to go back, I don't know that there's anywhere we could have done anything to save
other than just having the foresight to like take an elite quarterback instead of T. Higgins because we knew everyone was going to get wild. Like, all right, what do you like doing here? Adams comes off the board. Pollard, Waddle, Olave, Big Dog.
I'd click Derrick Henry, but I also like.
You want redemption on the Derrick Henry build?
I do. There's not many. So someone was saying, I'll Venmo you for this one too, as we're already.
No, you do not Venmo me. This is part of the deal. I'm not getting Venmoed for any of these. This is on me, easy.
So someone asked, like, why would you click Garrett Wilson in the first when everyone has him in the second? And the answer is because Garrett Wilson is going to just score a lot of points, and I don't care about what everyone else has. And then the Wilson-Henry combo has got to be pretty unique.
Right. That's what I was actually just pulling up on the Fantasy Life Hub to see how much Derrick Henry and Wilson I have, which I'm guessing is little. And here's the thing with that stuff. Like, if there are very clear tier breaks with stuff, like if you're taking Garrett Wilson ahead of Justin Jefferson or Chase or something, and you're like, no, I know you're not doing that, but I'm making the point of like the opportunity cost of taking Garrett Wilson there is not crazy and where he should go. Sean has him ranked there. Gretch has him ranked there. Like a lot of smart people think he deserves to go there. So I'm not really worried about those combos. And if anything, you get more unique, like you said, taking 2 second-round picks in the first round.
Exactly. I think this year, like, the tiers are pretty clearly defined. Like, for receivers, it's the top 4. For running backs, for me, I think it's McCaffrey. And then I think everyone from, like, you could say, like, maybe Eckler and Bijan are like a mini tier. But I think round 2 running backs are all very flat.
There you go. I have no Garrett Wilson, Derrick Henry, so that'll be fun.
It's probably like so minimal. In the pool as well.
Yeah. By the way, guys, you hear me mention it. Fantasy Life Best Ball Hub is free. It's really fun for these final drafts. If you want to just pull in your CSV, see what kind of combos you have. I know, like, it partly because I've been drafting with a lot of people, but I really have enjoyed just like doing different drafts. Like, I never take Big Dog there and just getting outside and doing, and that's why my exposure is going to look super flat, blah, blah, blah. But I've had fun doing so many different kinds of builds this year.
Yeah. And I've done the opposite, in which I just want as many combos of the guys that I like. But that's because it's just me.
Henry, Wilson, Josh Allen almost falls to 3.8. We're looking at Lamar, Ramondre, Debo. What's that?
I said, Allen would have been nice. To me, it's either Debo or Lamar. I like a Lamar because you can stack him up a whole bunch of different ways. But Zay Flowers is now up on the board, so I don't think we have access to Zay. So I like Debo here. This is just like a grown start.
Yep. Debo Samuel, Garrett Wilson, Debo, a guy I was just clicking a ton of at the beginning of the year. I've kind of taken my foot off the gas a little bit as I've been doing more of like the Ramondre ETN stuff around the 3-4 turn, but I still really like Debo, and he's kind of the one guy that stands out in kind of his own wide receiver tier between like T. Higgins and then, everyone else who's going in the 4th round. Where are you at on? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, for me, Debo, it starts to be the, like, everyone here has a lot of risk and, like, might not have a good season, but if you close your eyes and, like, it's late December, who's going to score 30 points, Debo Samuel bubbles up, like, way to the top of that list.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the only thing that's been hard about Debo is then being like, well, I also want a decent amount of Ayuk, and just getting shares of that. But Debo's a very comfy click there. We're about to pick at 4-5 our team so far. Derrick Henry, Wilson, Debo. ETN does come off the board. We're looking at Watson, Najee, Mike Williams, Breece, Hopkins, Burrow.
You want to take the naked Burrow? for revenge. No, I'm joking.
I was like, I don't know about that. Want to do Watson again?
I'd run Watson back, yeah.
Yeah. We're basically just going for redemption. You know, we do the Derrick Henry team again. We do the Christian Watson. Can we just get a little bit of redemption here? And we've very smartly left ourselves late quarterbacks available here. Aaron Rodgers, Brock Purdy, Jordan Love. Yeah. Oh man, that was traumatizing there. Yeah, so you were saying that you feel like you've been building a lot of like really, obviously you have some strong player takes, but even like the texture of your teams are very similar.
Yeah, I'm super into anchor RB. Part of that is like the Derrick Henry thing, but I do think receiver after like, I don't know if it's Olave, T. Higgins, like it falls off pretty big. And I think like even the 3-4 turn running backs are pretty solid. So yeah, a lot of my teams are repetitive, and I'm okay with that because I think the advanced structure is going to be so hard, and there's going to be a lot of pod luck in the playoffs. I just want to build as many good teams that I'm not super advanced rate focused that may end up proving to be super wrong, and that's just the way I'm in this contest.
Right.
In higher stakes, smaller field stuff, I'll be a little more advanced rate focused. But that's just the stand that I'm taking, is I want to build as many playoff heavy teams as I can.
For sure. Yeah, I completely agree with you. And it is fun to do like the Bulldog and the Rottweiler and stuff where you can, smartly justify really different constructions and prioritizing other things where it's like, I mean, how many times have we said it? Like, if you're not building to win 3 million in this, I mean, just don't play this contest. Like, there's no point to playing it if you're not trying to get through that gauntlet 15, 16, 17. What was I going to ask you? Oh, have you found, I was looking at like the boosts, for the quarterback here, the ones we've taken, and I saw, Brock Purdy jump up to 10% or almost 11. Rodgers. What have you found that like to be as far as like round equivalent? Has it been like a round and a half that it boosts them up from their ADP when you have a pass catcher?
Yeah, I mean, it's even more than that, but as you fill out your roster, you'll have so many others. So like everyone, it's because it's dynamic. It's like someone goes up and like a bunch of people go down to make room for it, but then you'll add someone, they'll go back up. I try not to reach more than, let's say, a round, unless there's like, if my team doesn't have Brock Purdy, it's dead. Like if we were to have Ayuk here as well, which we don't because apparently he went 42.
42, yeah.
And it's like, well, then Purdy is like make or break for the team. So in those cases, I would reach. But again, like I try and let the drafts fall to me as often as I can.
Guys, if the link in the chat isn't working, I also have it in the show notes. If you just hit the expand on the show notes, the link's right there.
Yeah, so make a copy of the sheet. Like every few days, I'll get like an email, like someone's trying to gain access. Like I can't grant you the access because then you'd probably break it. Aaron Jones or Ken Walker. I'm super high on Ken Walker this year.
Me too. I've been wanting to get more Ken Walker. The reason I put Aaron Jones in the queue is just because we attempted this last time, and then Brees. What do you want to do, Jones or Walker?
I like Walker more, but if we're gonna be spreadsheet bros, it's Aaron Jones here.
Let's do it. Even though I'm with you, I'm high on Walker. I want to get more of him, but I'm very light on Aaron Jones. He's actually one of the guys outside of like my bigger fades in like round 1 and 2 or whatever. People are like, why don't you ever click Aaron Jones? It's more, and it's not a fun take. Like I don't have anything bad to say about Aaron Jones. It's just like I like Walker more than him. I think push come to shove, I like Dobbins more than him. So I don't click him a lot. But then on the other hand, like if we are going to set up a fun Packers thing and not get absolutely sniped on him, I would like to have a little Aaron Jones in this portfolio.
Yep. I totally agree. And I think that the Packers like playoff schedule is nice and fun to stack up. And outside of these two guys, it's very cheap.
Yes.
I like the combo there.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, last time, not that there's anything wrong with Dylan and Love, like if you're making a big macro bet on the Packers, but, Love stacks so much better with What's the difference in correlation boost there on Love with Dylan versus Jones with Dylan?
It's not, it's less than you think. And this could be, the math is whatever. Like AJ Dillon catches more passes than you'd think based on his size. So I'll try and look at it while also not botching the clock. But
yeah, we can make this pick and then we can circle back. We're about to pick at 6-5. Evans comes off the board. Henry Jones at running back. Garrett Wilson, Debo, Christian Watson at wide receiver. What do you like?
Kittle sets us up here for
the double
for 30 later.
Yeah,
which I kind of like. I think receiver has fallen off unless it's like, oh yeah, Dotson's gone. Yeah,
Dotson's been. Let's do Kittle. Yeah, below the field on Kittle to me doesn't feel good, especially at these 6th round prices. Yeah, let's happily scoop him up there. So we got 2 Niners, Debo and Kittle. We got 2 Packers, Aaron Jones and Christian Watson, Derrick Henry and Garrett Wilson. So far, like looking at this room, we haven't seen the double quarterbacks go, the double tight ends at the 3-4 turn. So maybe we're just in a little bit more of a normal room.
Yeah, I would feel a little comfier if this was a friends and family where we've like we've called dibs loosely on Jordan Love and Brock Purdy.
Yes,
we'll see if people respect the dibs.
Like Davis tried to call dibs on Kyle Pitts at pick 84 yesterday on the Swolecast when I selected at pick 81. That's not how dibs works, Davis.
No.
Speaking of which, too, just another reminder, I am going to close out my BBM streams tomorrow. We're going to kick that off at 10 a.m. This is the full guest list. We do have the aforementioned Davis Maddock and David Kitchen. That'll be a fun way to start it off. We got Denny Carter, Lord Reeves, JM to win, Tom Everett Scott, Cooter Doodle, and then I will do that last one solo, a final draft to live a little and grab all of my guys. That will be draft 150. This is draft 143. Easy, of course, from the Deposit Kingdom, the most prolific poster in all of the land. If you guys aren't in the Deposit Kingdom, hop in there. Even the general NFL Best Ball channel is absolutely ripping with hot takes these days. We got the Badge Bros in there. You know, we got Easy hanging out behind the NGMI gate, but it's a great place to be if you guys want to come and talk best ball.
It is, yeah. I mean, I like hitting the enter button. Great place to be. A lot of sharp people, a lot of people to argue with too, which is always fun.
Yeah.
Hawkinson just got paid. Not that it matters, but
he got what?
TJ Hawkinson just got paid, so he's been like out of practice with like an ear infection, aka
he was doing like the Dobbins, like I'm kind of hurt but want more money thing. Yeah. Yeah, that definitely clears things up for him because there was a little uncertainty there. So let's see here. Are there any guys, I mentioned like Walker, Dobbins, ETN have been guys have been trying to click a little bit more. Are there any guys that you are trying to kind of scramble and boost your exposure to down the stretch?
I feel I'll think about it. There's no like I'm at peace with my stands, and if anything, I'm just like leveraging my bets even more down the stretch. I'm not scared of anything. Come at me.
Addison would have been fun there, sliding to 80. Zay with our Niners bet in 16. God, Jesus, what a mush. What do you like here as Zay had Addison come off the board? Yeah.
I do think Sutton is still underpriced.
I agree.
He is out. Let me see running back just real quick before we
Akers, Montgomery, Connor, Alvin.
I like a lot of these guys, but not necessary. I think Sutton's a good one here for us.
Yeah, he's been another one of those where I think if the ADP had a long time to get more efficient, he would be, around higher than where he is, but it's just been such a slow tick for him.
Sutton, there's been a lot with Sutton because he was like, ADP 100 or so because Silva had him behind Tim Patrick. And then Tim Patrick goes away 2 months ago and he goes up like 5 spots. Now Judy goes away and he goes up, another 5 spots. It doesn't seem like nearly enough.
The chat wants you to show the puppy. Is the puppy nearby?
No. There's a lot of noise and commotion in my home. Maybe towards the end. I don't want to rock the boat here with what's going on.
Yeah, there you go. You know, sometimes you can meet the chat's demands, sometimes you can't. It is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, our team here through 7 rounds. We got a 2-4-1 build going, no quarterbacks yet. We got the big dog and Aaron Jones at running back, wide receivers Garrett Wilson, Deebo Samuel, Christian Watson, and Cortland Sutton. Tight end George Kittle. Cam Akers comes off the board here. Who is the play?
It's like, I think it's just like running back of choice here. Quentin Johnston went, right?
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just running back of choice. People are really not into Rachaad White. But I kind of am.
Yeah.
Like,
let's do it. Plays Green Bay week 15 as well.
Yeah.
Let's grab him.
At this price, like, all the metrics for Rachaad White are bad, and Tampa Bay is going to be bad. I understand all of that. But like, the Venn diagram of Rachaad White is bad, bros, is somehow the same Venn diagram as the running backs don't matter, bros. And I just don't get it, you know?
Right. Well, yeah, it is. Yeah. And like, he is, who do you like more, Rachaad White or James Conner?
Yeah. It depends on the team.
Yeah. Like,
if I have as my, you know, if I want more certainty, maybe it's Conner, but I think Rachaad White spiking up for week 17 is like slightly more likely.
Yeah, that's my thing with it too. I mean, and like, if we just want to do some of the vibe stuff, like the vibes around the Cardinals are just so bad. And again, if we are thinking through the lens of how do you win 15-17, like the Cardinals saddling up James Conner with 25 plus touches as they tank for Caleb Williams, it just doesn't logically track for me.
Yeah, so like with that, I probably should have more than like 0% of Keontae Ingram.
Right.
That might be a blind spot. I'm not like scared Keontae Ingram is the guy you need or anything like that, but that's just been, you know,
right,
a blind spot that I only have 5 drafts left to correct. So.
Thank you, Ben, for the super chat. Thank you, Tyler, for reminding people to like the stream. You know, now the comments easy have dried up. You know, once you stop incentivizing people with cash prizes to like and subscribe, I realized I was just being used for my money. No one actually wants to engage with me anymore. Easy.
Well, yeah, we're gonna have to think of like the tactic to keep the people clicking as we're getting into the season.
It's to draft a 4 quarterback team. I can't wait for the comments on that one. There, yeah.
I do wonder if we got Austin Hooper or if someone sniped us before the auto draft.
You know, we should let me go look real quick. We got, drum roll, please, Austin Hooper, baby.
All right.
There he is. We did it.
The plane has been landed.
All right. This is draft 143. Is my math correct on that? No, I think have I been putting the wrong ones up here? Goodness, this is 142. God, I'm all off. So this is 142 with Easy. I'm going to do 143 tonight on Best Ball After Dark with Bill Barnwell. Are we up? No, almost. Okay. And then tomorrow will be 144 through 150. We're about to pick at 9-8. We got a couple of the running backs we talked about. I mean, Brian Robinson with the 17 with the Niners looks pretty fun if he falls.
Yep. I like that. I also like Daniel Jones, because that might be some PTSD from quarterback cucking, but Daniel Jones is cheap to stack. And do you think guaranteed a little something? Plus, we already have 3 running backs I feel okay about.
But I think we have a little bit of cover for Daniel Jones with 2 quarterbacks ahead. What do you think?
Do. Yeah, B-Rob.
I know I like you. I was scarred from that last time, but because we have outs to Love into Watson, he takes Tua unstacked. We might be okay.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a gift to get Daniel Jones back. We also have actually an Aaron Rodgers out as well.
True.
Coming up because of Garrett Wilson. So yeah. Now, once again, I feel like we've kind of, because of the round 2 Derrick Henry, like a running back. The running back room is pretty good, and we're only halfway through the draft, which is probably different texture than your previous 140.
Yes, for sure. Brian, relatively new here. What's the in-season content like? DFS focused. Yeah, so I will be doing DFS stuff. We'll have the Friday strategy show with JM to win on Fridays. That's coming back. I'll have my cram on Sunday mornings for YouTube members. The Monday morning show is going to shift a little bit from just me, rubbing my face in my shitty DFS lineups. And we are going to do more of a portfolio review, looking at the best ball teams, just because everyone's been watching me draft those, so we can check in on those. And I am going to be doing more Battle Royale content this year as well, focusing a little bit more on the dailies. So it'll be a mixture of DFS, dailies, and portfolio review kind of stuff.
Love that.
We're also going to have some announcements soon. We mentioned on Badge Bros yesterday, we're going to have that show on the Underdog HQ immediately following the JM show on Fridays. That'll be kind of like a daily pick'em show. And then we're gonna have an announcement for ship chasing in-season plans as well. Something I think you guys will be excited to hear about. Let's see here, Easy, if we can dodge AJ. No quarterbacks here. I mean, no Daniel Jones is a great pick in this spot. If you have no quarterbacks, he does it.
Yeah, he does.
It is what it is.
Oh man, Jalen Warren, and then be done.
Let's see here. So, yeah, quarterback wise, I have no problem trying to push Rodgers to 128.
I'm starting. I'm starting to get the heebie-jeebies, but yeah, I like Jalen Warren. None of these receivers are screaming out to me, so this would be my two considerations.
I'm just checking. Sometimes like the Lazard drafter. Which one do you want to do? You want to go Lazard or Warren? Or
no, let's go Warren. No, I mean, okay. I think at this point it's better content to just get cucked at quarterback again.
Well, my favorite thing, normally there's two ways this goes, because I've had this happen a lot as someone who takes Garrett Wilson a good bit, is Rodgers either falls to you or someone goes, oh, I'll take Lazard here at 115 and then I'll grab Rodgers at 126. Now they have Mahomes, so maybe they feel a little bit behind, a little bit more cover there, but that's the sweat, is the Lazard drafter.
Yep.
Let's see. Yeah. So the, I'm going to figure out, there's going to be some different things with the tiers for the YouTube membership. For a lot of you guys have been coasting in on the cheapest membership, the randomizer. So we're going to clean up some of that with the YouTube member stuff. And I'm going to keep the best ball after darks rolling in the season. I might rebrand it Fantasy After Dark, maybe Saturday night show, bring on a guest, maybe build a couple DFS lineups, have some drinks. So we'll keep that rolling, and then the Sunday cram, but there's going to be some different tier levels to it. At the top tier, you'll get access to all those shows. The second one, Best Ball Value Hounds, you'll get access to the Best Ball After Dark show. And yes, the randomizer will, that premium sub will go away for the off season. Which again, by the way, tonight, final randomizer show, randomizer finale with Brett Coleman. Has a massive YouTube channel, film grinder, X's and O's guy, knows ball guy. So that'll be a fun show with him tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Easy, the sweat for Aaron Rodgers is on. The other thing too is we do have lots of other options, right? We got Purdy, we got Love, we got Russ.
Yeah.
We can even do stuff with Pickett and Howell with the Robinson and Warren stuff. So like, I'm not quite as itchy as we were before.
I agree. I'm glad we passed that up. Even if I think Garrett Wilson is going to be very good, I'm less worried that Aaron Rodgers is who you need.
Mm-hmm.
And reaching for Aaron Rodgers probably would have been a mistake. Even if it gets, I think it would have been a mistake. So I'm glad you talked me off that ledge.
Well, and it is hard when it does feel like, Warren does feel like a luxury pick there when you already have these four running backs, and yet this gives us permission to just fully be done at running back there. And did we dodge the Lazard? Oh no, here it is. Here's the sweat. Woo, there we go.
Dodge. Yeah.
Nice. So that works out well.
We keep pushing it because Russ looks good. Love and Purdy look good later. It's just a matter of, is there a receiver because tight end we're good with Kittle. Like Kittle, I don't want a tight end for a while.
I won't. If you want to talk me into, I've been legitimately trying to get a little bit more Odell at this price week against San Francisco in week 16, but I'm good with Rodgers or Odell.
Can you click the receiver tab for me?
Yeah, Jacoby, Mooney, Rice, MVS gets pretty gross.
Yeah, I would go Rodgers here. I'm not into Odell.
I have clearly not been into Odell either. I'm just starting to get a little spooked lately that he feels like a guy who could bury me.
Yeah.
Some fades I'm confident on, and that one I'm just getting a little dicey on. What's your put a Odell in a coffin for me and make me feel better about a near full fade?
I mean, Zay Flowers, I think, is just him. And Mark Andrews is going to eat.
Yep.
And if Bateman is healthy, like, I think Odell's, I don't know about ceiling, but the base case for Odell to me is he's the third or fourth option on an offense that, even if you're bullish on, is not going to throw like a Tom Brady offense.
Right.
So, Odell and Odell spike in 2023 is like 14 points. It's not 40 points.
Right. So what are you thinking here wide receiver wise? Because we are in that spot where we only have 4. This is, there's a couple names here that are interesting, but it is a pretty gross tier here for a little bit.
It is.
We got lots of time at tight end. This might just be a spot to reach for some wide receivers we like.
I agree. MVS is a guy that I think I like every bit of news coming out about like Rachaad Rice, and like MVS is just an inevitability of he's going to be on the field a bunch. Will it matter? Probably not. But I think MVS could give us like a couple of games a year. Mooney, fits that same archetype, and then like Gallup. So I think I like MVS unless you want to go Rachaad Rice here.
I don't mind. I mean, you could see here, there was the report that just came out where the team was basically saying Rachaad Rice and what was it, Justin Ross are going to be like rotational players to start, which I think is to be expected. Like, I think we all kind of expected MVS and Sky to open up the season. I guess the real question is like, who is going to be that third guy? And it sounds like Kadarius Toney's actually tracking to be on the field sooner than later too.
For now, the sooner that Toney gets back on the field is the sooner that he gets off the field.
Exits.
I'm scarred. That's an IKB there.
Let's see here. I mean, I bet I took basically 0 Toney when he was going in the 7th round, and then I started to grab him a couple times now that he's at the hundreds.
I think that's about right.
So and then the other thing we'll just have to think through. It's probably fine to reach for our quarterbacks as well, just to make sure we take care of that. And then the Rodgers stuff. So we got Rodgers to Wilson. Do you is a guy like DPJ someone we would put on our radar here?
DPJ went like 3 rounds ago. It caught my eye, and I was like, "What the hell?"
Oh, you're right. 120. Yeah. Jesus. I don't know what happened there.
So I talk about like building for week 17, and it's so hard not to look at the matchups, but week 17, Thursday night, Jets at Cleveland doesn't inspire like I need to overstack this game. But then again, like you look at Kareem's team, it's like, did you really need to overstack New England and Miami? The answer is no, but it ended up really working out. So that's kind of why you have to like put bias aside. You got to just correlate and hope for the best.
And to that point, right? Like DPJ isn't a guy, no offense to Papa Friedel, you take at round 10. This actually looks like a case of the Davis Maddox star method striking again. Deshaun Watson at 97, DPJ at 120. But to that point, it's like, if that comes to you and DPJ's there at a good price, then I think you click it, but it's not like one of those correlations you go out of your way. There's also some stuff too, like Jerome Ford's really cheap now that he was banged up and they brought over Pierre Strong. So there's still some cheap ways to do it, even though we're probably not doing 6 running backs here.
Yep.
All right, let's see here. So Howell and Pickett come off the board. This feels like it should be a quarterback pick for us. The question is, how do we play this as far as Love and Purdy?
Yeah. As it stands now, our team needs Purdy more and Love goes. So that makes, I think we just want and get Purdy.
Yeah, we have to. All right, so we grab Purdy there. I'm trying to, like, what are people doing here with this Love, unstacked Love there? Okay. Man, I guess is it just the Musgrave parachute for the, I mean, trust me, as someone who's had to do some backdoor stacks, I get it, but it's kind of interesting.
I think this is like, you're getting a taste of what it's like for the rest of us that don't stream our drafts. Where, you got to be on your toes, with the quarterback thing.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, if we missed out on Rodgers, we probably just take a quarterback at 137 to avoid that from happening. But because we had Rodgers and we had 2 guys in our back pocket, I think we're a little bit more comfortable sitting on that. And then thinking through, because where are you at on, like, Rodgers Purdy? I think it is fine if you did that as a 2 quarterback build. I think we could also still do a 3 quarterback.
I'll go a third. I don't know who it would be looking at our team, but I do lean a third, especially because running back, we're probably done at 5. Tight end with Kittle, I usually like only 2. So
what about this? If it falls, we take Mingo, Bryce Young, and then they play Green Bay in 16.
Yeah, I really like Mingo.
Me too. Beautiful.
Yep.
That worked out well too, especially needing to get a little bit more late wide receiver upside, which is legitimately hard to find. Mingo at 161 feels really good.
Yeah.
Now, zero promises.
Like,
what's that?
I think Mingo's been like an ADP gravity thing where, like, he's in 3 receiver sets and DJ Chark is hurt. So now he's likely in 2 receiver sets. And the other receiver is Adam Thielen, and the tight end is Hayden Hurst, and the running back doesn't catch a bunch of passes. So, there's something like, Mingo was never the top receiver in college, like that type of thing. Like, I get it, but he's a rookie in round 15. There's worse shots to take.
Yeah, it is kind of weird to me, just the market kind of arbitrarily deciding which rookie wide receivers, we fall in love with, and which ones we don't. And then, like, you get legitimate news that makes the Mingo stuff better. He's, like, been playing all of the snaps in preseason. DJ Chark, who's probably his main competition for outside snaps, is dealing with an injury and has never been healthy his entire career. To me, that's normally when we're like, let's go start taking Mingo in the 130s. And that just hasn't happened.
Yep.
Any other kind of in-game stuff you're thinking about here? We have a 2-5-6-1, Aaron Rodgers, Brock Purdy, our 5 running backs, Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, Rachaad White, Brian Robinson, Jalen Warren, our wide receivers, Garrett Wilson, Deebo Samuel, Christian Watson, Cortland Sutton, MBS, Mingo, and then tight end, George Kittle. What do you think about tight end ideas?
Conklin, probably with the Rodgers thing. Otherwise, like, my favorite swing for upside bets are like guys like Taysom, Isaiah Likely, come to mind. Dawson Knox.
Don't the Niners play the Ravens one of those weeks?
They do in week 16. So like if you want a Davis star method and timeout on, so there goes Taysom Hill.
We should you want to just lock up Bryce Young?
Can we see, is anyone there at receiver? Because, like, we could still use more receivers. No Chark. Rashid Shaheed, I don't hate. There's no one. And then tight end, did anyone fall?
Dulcich is still there, but knowing these rooms, he might still be there.
I'm fine smashing the Bryce Young button here.
Yeah, I think so. Especially because if it was just like that skinny stack, it does give us outs to Hayden Hurst. It gets us that big stack bring back with Green Bay. And since we missed out on Love, like as a way to play that game.
Oh, that's a great call.
So I think that looks nice.
Yeah, it's a great call.
And after washing the bad taste out of our mouth from that last draft, to get 3 clean stacks now feels pretty good.
QBs.
Yeah, let's check in. We did it. The impossible here. And so easy. Now this is what when you draft a really well correlated team, you see a lot of green on the sheet. Correct?
Oh yeah. No, the serotonin or whatever is off the charts.
I know people like to look at the scores. What's a good score or target score here for the number?
When you're done, like, and it kind of refreshes, you can simulate it. Like 150 plus is really good. Anything in the 140s is good. So like with 3 picks left to go, in the high 130s is very good. Dopamine, I said serotonin. Is serotonin like the horny one? I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but yeah, like once you add a tight end, the fact that we're taking a willing 0 at tight end here kind of hurts that. So no, this team is going to grade out pretty well. And we have a good mix of reaches and fallers. So our net ADP value is actually not even that bad. We've reached a bunch, but we're only giving up 5 picks of ADP in aggregate. Feels pretty decent.
How do you weigh, and I don't even think he's showing here because he wasn't expected to be here, but how do you weigh like Dulcich versus the Conklin Hurst, like completing the stack stuff? Because we also do have Sutton. That's what I was thinking. And we can still get one of those as well.
It's a buy. It's a Kittle buy, so I wouldn't do it.
Okay, even if we're adding a third later?
I don't think I want a third here.
Okay. Do you want to just lock up Conklin then?
Yeah, go a little Gronklin. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much towards the top here. Yeah. Like, I have him pretty much tied with Dulcich.
Mm-hmm. But the bye week just pushes it.
But the bye week thing tilts it.
I don't know how. Maybe it's because I have so much Garrett Wilson and then I get so much Rodgers. But even with the field on Conklin, I guess that seems fine. For some reason, that seems like a lot because there was some periods where I feel like he wasn't going drafted all the time. But where are you at on Conklin now? Because I know you're big in on Garrett Wilson too.
That my Garrett Wilson love is very recent. So I'm like struggling to. I'm only at like 10% Wilson, and about 5 on Gronklin. He's the archetype of like, I don't want him unless it's stacked. Right. But when he's stacked, sure, I'll take him. So that's kind of my late tight end thing. So in a vacuum, like there's not much to love about Conklin, but again, like Corey Davis leaving, like it doesn't. What is it? Give him like 25 extra yards, but that type of stuff matters at the end, right? To go from pick 190 to 180, that type of stuff kind of matters. So structurally here, I think we probably for sure want a 7th wide receiver. You could probably make cases for an 8th wide receiver or really a luxury pick other than quarterback. What do you think here? We can just focus on correlations. Yeah, like a Hardman. I don't think I want Randall Cobb here. So a Hardman, a Hayden Hurst, a Cedric Tillman, if you want to go off the board type thing, for a bring back. Yeah. How are we on bring backs? Like Jacksonville doesn't have anything. Washington, like Curtis Samuel probably won't. So we don't have much in the way of week 17 bring backs. We're like giga correlating 15 and 16. Yes. And, yeah, so we are back on the clock here. Do you want to do the Hardman thing despite the Cobb steam these days? I think so. Yeah. I mean, what's the likelihood that Randall Cobb is on the field and or kicking Hardman off the field in late December? I don't know. Yeah. What do you think here as far as maybe doing another Chiefs receiver with MVS? I think it's fine. If there's one that we like, I think it's fine. Yeah, Ross and Richie James are both still available. I like both those guys. There is the likely thing too, if you just wanted like a really high upside 3rd tight end. What do you think is the play?
Hayden Hurst if you wanted to double stack Carolina.
Yeah, I'm not dying to double stack. Bryce Young.
Yeah.
I'm kind of partial to Richie James.
Yeah.
Or Likely. I think Likely is a really good bet on outlier type situation. So I think it's a total luxury pick. Like we should be good going to war with who we have at both. Likely, I think Likely pays off, I don't know, 10% of the time, but when he does, he really does.
Yes.
So I think I lean Likely here.
Yeah, Richie James, I think, would be the play if maybe the Mingo pick doesn't come into focus or whatever, and we just worry we don't have enough early season production. But I think with this wide receiver room, I think we're good.
Yeah.
So we'll add Likely here. We end up with a 3-5-7-3 build, a nice little set of redemption here after the travesty that was draft 141. We end up with Aaron Rodgers, Brock Purdy, and Bryce Young at quarterback. Our 5 running backs, Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, Rachaad White, Brian Robinson, Jalen Warren. Our wide receivers, Garrett Wilson, Deebo Samuel, Christian Watson, Cortland Sutton, MVS, Jonathan Mingo, and Mecole Hardman. And then 3 tight ends as well, George Kittle, Tyler Conklin, Isaiah Likely. This looks like a team that can, traverse that tough week 15, 16, 17 gauntlet. What's your final thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I feel much better about this than the last one. I think this type of team is built well to make the finals and or win the regular season. It's not as weeks. We have one week 17 bring back, and that is Brian Robinson. So archetype wise, it's like very much not week 17 bring back optimized. That's like when people are saying, oh, you're going to over correlate. Like we're not. We're still clicking guys that make sense. And we have a lot of paths, and I think structurally it's a good balanced team with a lot of upside.
That's been the biggest straw man of like all of the week 17 hate is like I still have yet, other than someone who fell prey to the Davis Maddox star method and like auto drafted a team full of early correlations. Like I never see teams where I'm like, this guy is consuming all this content, understands why week 17 matters, but ignores everything else and is taking his correlation 6 rounds ahead of ADP. I have still not seen that individual. And yet, boy, is that the punching bag for the straw man artists out there.
Yep. No, I totally agree. I think you're still building good teams.
All right. So Easy and I got redemption here. Going to label this one here. Got our 3-5-7-3. We'll get just San Francisco squeezed in there. This other one though did get redacted here. 141. It's the draft that will never be mentioned. But as the way things go, Easy, I would not be surprised to see this team advance whatsoever.
In that room. Yeah, we might get our money back, or what is if min cash is a $5 profit? We'll try not to spend it on one place.
Yeah, I should probably just not keep this up on the screen here.
High projection.
Stafford, Kyler, what?
It's the high projection, the 3,200. That maybe that's the trick.
That is the thing.
Quarterbacks.
I do love it. You don't get it as much as like your home league bros with the Yahoo grades, where they're like, dude, I got an A+ from Andy Behrens. But I do love the guys. I did get some people who unironically were like, dude, I crushed you in that draft. I got more projected points than you. So it is a fun fight.
Yeah.
Easy. I appreciate you coming on. I'm going to drop the link to the yeah, man, it's always fun drafting with you. The sheet is awesome. It's a free tool that Easy makes available. You mentioned creating a copy of it to kind of utilize it to the best. Any other tips for people who want to test drive this?
No, just hit file in the corner, make a copy, and give it a test drive. Find me on Twitter. I'm also in Pete's Discord. I'll go to any channel if I see that red one circled. Tag me. I'm almost always online. If anyone has any questions and wants to argue about stuff, I am happy to hit enter with you guys.
Yep. I just put Easy's Twitter account in the chat. Give Easy a follow. Join us in the Deposit Kingdom. I will be back. My schedule today, lulls at 1:30. We're having Ricky D on. We're going to talk a little bit more about the potential death of DFS. We're going to see what Ricky D is feeling about things heading into this year after his incredible showdown performance last year. I'm going to have randomizer finale with Brett Coleman at 8 p.m. tonight, followed by Best Ball After Dark with Bill Barnwell. And then tomorrow, 10 a.m., Mimosas, the final marathon stream, 144 to 150 with all kinds of special guests. Appreciate you all. Appreciate Easy. Have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll see you guys for lulls at